How is the development of Operation Blackdown update for 0 Hour going? What sort of major improvements and changes are we getting? This is what we're going to be talking about in this video, going over some of the information the 0 Hour dev team shared in their latest dev blog. Operation Blackdown update is still scheduled to be released for May 2021 and will include many improvements that are going to change the gameplay and meta quite a lot in my opinion, and bring 0 Hour to that slow-paced, realistic tactical shooter a lot more. First, by changing some of the controls, animations and movements, since all of the third-person animations are getting some love, either improved or even completely revamped. Up until now, a lot of the work had been done on the first-person animations, especially the weapons, but not much was done on the third-person animations, which is something the devs are resolving with this update. First things first, you will be able to feel your body weight a lot more after this update, meaning that changing direction quickly while running is not going to be something you can do that easily anymore. There will now be a proper transition between animations, simulating the weight and the inertia of your body, making it harder to switch direction and rush around, thus encouraging you a lot more to be more tactical. Take your time and avoid those rushing tactics too much. Running or rushing will probably be something you will want to do only when extremely necessary, and probably in short distances as well, like switching sides, crossing a corridor, or running to cover. Another very important point to mention is that you will be able to control the speed of your operator, which is a massive game changer in my opinion. In the current version of the game, you can only use 3 speeds: slow walk, walk and run. But the slow walk is still too fast in my opinion. When swapping corners and clearing rooms, I still feel it's too fast, forcing me to do those weird strafing back and forth between left and right a little bit too much. Once Operation Blackdown update has been released, you will be able to progressively switch from slow walk to walk using the mouse wheel, just like in Tarkov. More details will also be added to existing animations or stances, such as climbing and prone. Climbing will get a new transition animation where you will see your character setting the rope and getting to position, while before it was instant. This will improve the realistic aspect of the game, but also discourage rushing tactics where attackers were able to run, set the rope and climb right away, making it possible for them to be in position too quick and too early in the match. The prone animation rework will also allow you to prone in tight places where your operator wasn't able to before, like laying on the back and having your upper body leaning forward a little bit as if you were resting on the wall behind you. So this will have pros and cons obviously, since you will now be able to get some really nasty angles on your opponents without being forward too much. But you will also have to be careful and make sure your legs aren't too exposed and cannot be seen by the enemies, otherwise they will see them without you even knowing it. Another improvement somewhat related to animations, and that I usually call muzzle awareness in games. I don't know if there is a better way or a different way to call that, to be honest, but basically in the current version of 0 Hour, your weapon doesn't really care about walls or doesn't really try to adapt when walls are close to the muzzle. That often leads to you not being able to aim, or your weapon is colliding with a prop or the wall and the scope is like right in your eyeball. With this upcoming update, your character will at least try to adapt to what's around him for as much as he can, until he has to pull the weapon in a high ready position or pull the weapon closer to your chest, elbow to the outside, and all of that should be clear indications when you are able to ADS or not and engage with your target or not, because the weapon muzzle is obstructed by a wall or a prop. And then comes the big one that is probably still dividing the community a little bit at this stage. On one side, we have people who are excited about the idea of being able to customize weapons and so on, and on the other side, you have people who are still afraid that it will make the game somewhat unbalanced because defenders will have access to slightly better versions of their weapons. But we are not here to talk about that yet. We will get into that topic once we are actually able to test the feature properly, which we cannot yet. Today we are just going to talk about what we can see in the devlog, which is the weapon customization menu, and we can see that all existing weapons can already support mods. There will be 3 different categories: rail, sight, and barrel, and the amount of mods will be expanded over time, but we are still getting quite a few interesting mods already. We can see the new G36 weapon and that Defender's weapons will not get access to the full list of mods, probably to keep the game balanced. For instance, Defenders mostly get access to red dots and do not have access to scopes like the ACOG and whatnot, for obvious balancing reasons, I assume. That being said, we can see that we will be able to attach silencers to Defender's weapons, which is still a pretty big game changer in my opinion. We will also get more muzzle attachments. It's not mentioned in the devlog, but the devs already confirmed that on the Discord, that we will get flash hiders and compensators, and all of that is going to affect the stats of your weapon, which is pretty cool. More importantly, the tactical light and the infrared sight will have to be attached manually, and you will only get one of the two at any given time, meaning that your weapon can only be optimized for when you use your night visions or not. In the video, we can also see a few other weapons already modded, such as the MAC-10 with the sight and the silencer, and we can see the M4 with the different holo sight and the tactical flashlight on the left side of the CQBR. There are quite a few other very interesting improvements coming with this update, some that are definitely coming, some that are still TBD, and some that might be coming in first iterations. They might stay, they might be improved, or they might be removed, maybe, depending on the community feedback, I guess. The first confirmed improvement is obviously the addition of watches, which are new cosmetics that still kind of provide useful information to the players, such as the time, as in the real time, the bomb countdown, the round time, the direction, and whatnot. But nothing too OP, and as we previously learned, unlocking those watches will be tied to the new progression and currency systems as well. The other big change is that procedural prop placements might be added to the game. Meaning that some elements of the maps will randomly change, thus impacting your pre-made tactics. This means that there will never be just one single way of playing or one single tactic that works all the time. In my opinion, that was already the case, and something that I've been trying to explain with my previous tactic briefing videos. Tactics in a game like 0 Hour can only be some sort of running orders. Playstyles are not tactics in my opinion, and therefore are not really reliable when thinking about real CQB and shoot, move, and communicate tactics. So all in all, this upcoming Operation Black Dawn update looks really interesting, and I cannot wait to see most of the upcoming features. I think it would definitely make the game even better, more realistic, and more interesting, since it will be adding new features that truly improve the tactical gameplay of the game. Let me know what you think of this update in the comments below. Please consider leaving a like and to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Also, don't forget to tick the bell to never miss any of my future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.